there's mutilations of cattle, and it's unexplained from the way that they're found. They're not like animals have attacked them or hurt that. It's just the way they're mutilated. It's unexplainable. So that's why there's a lot of talk about UFOs possibly being involved. It's not like usual, like if a wolf would rip a cow's throat out or something like that. It's just the way that the animals are like almost like surgically dissected some of the times, and organs removed and stuff like that. So that's why it's quite of interest to UFO people.
That's wild. I never even. Now I'm gonna have to look up something I really don't want to see just because I want to know about it. That's insane.
Hey, I'll tell you what, it is interesting. It really is interesting. And like he mentioned there, like these are really strange occurrences too. Like there's proof that whatever did surgery pulling these organs out like a surgeon, and they did it in a matter of minutes, sometimes a minute of seconds. Guy turns his head for 1 second and then turns back, and all of a sudden there's a dead cow there that he didn't see 5 seconds before. You know, and that kind of goes back to what you were talking about when I mentioned the orbs and everything. So there could be something that's interdimensional, things like that.
I'm glad my orbs don't kill us.
Yeah.
Maybe my orbs chill out so the ones that would like to attempt to kill us cannot. And that's why when people...
almost forgot. In this book, it mentions that the guy who owns it actually had dogs that were killed by an orb.
He saw his dog get killed?
He heard him. What happened was this orb appeared and came up on to his porch, and his dogs were always upset when they saw these orbs because they've seen them multiple times. And they would always try to freaking jump up and attack it, but this orb was smart and it could like dodge out of the way before the dogs could get him. Well, one day this orb turned around and baited them into the freaking brush out of the way so that they were out of sight, and all he could hear when he went after him to try to chase him down was freaking yelps.
Aww.
And it was getting dark, so that night he freaking said, no, I better not follow after. So he went back home, and the following day he went out there and he found his freaking animals mangled up. His dogs were all mangled up, and he said the weird part about it was it looked like they'd been there for like freaking days at a time because they were decomposing and shit and had flies hovering over them, and like they had been dead for days.
Even though they had just got killed.
Right.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, that was one interesting thing about the story right there. But like I said, I mean, like when you go from dogmen / skinwalkers, I don't know if that would really be a part of what the skinwalkers were.
Would you rather be dead operating in a lifeless world, or would you rather be alive operating in a dead world?
I mean, being honest, you can't really even tell in that one. I mean, what if it's both,
At the same time, simultaneous, right? 360.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'd like the 360. But sometimes, yeah, okay, never mind. Go ahead. Nothing, it's just nothing.
No, go ahead.
Just because like things now, that's how it is, and that's how it feels, and that's what I know. So it's just different because it's like I know I'm dead now, and I know for a fact that I'm not here anymore, and it feels different because like I'm still here, and I'm expected to do the stuff that they do here, but I'm not here anymore. I'm gone. I'm dead. I'm done. And I'm not done because death is rebirth, but I'm not supposed to be here. And or here has to change. But here's not changing. Here, in fact, is fighting to be the same and to make what is here currently the standard. And there's really like I don't know. It's just different because it's like the world is kind of lifeless. There's no life. This is not how life is. Life is like green and beautiful and connected to nature. That's life. This is not life. These robots and this everything against natural is not life. It's not. It's death. And it's constant though. It's everywhere and it's just taking over the world. And then instead of us talking about like planting trees and growing more greens, we're telling people to teach your kids to code and just get on board with like robots running stuff. And it's just like, it's strategic. And sometimes I just wonder what's the point, because it's just like, it's dead here. It's dead. There's nothing here anymore. No one's doing anything except killing people faster. And we think that it's having the life, and there's no life here. We're not even happy. We get all this shit and we're still not happy. So it's like, what is the life in that? And I don't know. It was a weird question. It just popped in my head and I worded it in English as best as I could because it didn't come to me in English. And it wasn't even a question that came to me. I was told to ask you or ask or put it out there, but I didn't really want to, but I had to. So here you go.
Well, that's pretty interesting, to be honest with you. I mean, it's the perspective that you look at it, though. Maybe that was like wherever you got that from, was coming to you from like that point of view. It wasn't your point of view necessarily. It was their point of view, or
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So, it's a matter of perspective. How are you looking at it? Are you looking at it like something that came out of your mouth, or like were you being used as a
messenger?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about that, John?
He said he has to turn his mic off because his family's going to sleep, but he's still here listening in his headphones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I had my chat closed, so I better leave it open.
He might pop in. Sometimes he does, even when he has. There he is.
I missed the beginning of what started Karma's comment, but what she was channeling. I heard the middle and towards the end, but I didn't hear the beginning bit of how it started, so I couldn't really properly form an opinion of it, because I need to hear the whole thing, if you know what I mean.
Would you rather be dead in a lifeless world or alive in a dead world?
Right, well, I'd rather be alive in a dead world, I think. At least alive in myself than be dead in a, like, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's being alive inside, being vibrant, being, whatever the word is.
How do you sustain life when there's everything around you is destitute? Like, if you're unable to nourish yourself and refuel yourself and replenish yourself, how are you going to be able to sustain your existence?
Well, my view is if you're connected to the source, that'll replenish your existence. It'll be provided. Otherwise, if you're not connected to the source, then you wouldn't be here anyway. So, my view of the world got to that bad, we wouldn't be here. We'd be gone. But that's my view anyway.
See,
Thank you.
That would be interesting too, like whenever you put it in that perspective and what Karma just said and everything. You got to remember that we're talking about skinwalkers too. So these are shamans who turn towards the evil. You know what I mean? So
there'd be someone feasting on you. Would you feast on someone else to sustain your existence? Because that's what it is. Zombies.
No, I wouldn't. But I seem to have this image in my head that these people, they they become empowered as well from eating. They've been cannibals and stuff. They become empowered from it. It gives them some sort of power, or they believe it gives them some sort of power. Maybe it does give them power. I don't know, because I've never obviously done that.
They do
So I
think
think,
that. You're
yeah, I
right
think
about what they think.
that's what I think. That's what I think it stemmed from originally. That's what it stemmed from. Is people believe they get power from eating other people's.
And killing people in general. That's how they get their ranks and gangs. But see, you can exchange souls, and that's why people, I think, they don't understand. You can dominate, not just because that's just physical power. You understand? That's just the flesh. That's just the outward power. Even if it's the outward status, it's not sustaining power within you. That's the placebo effect. You believe that it's giving you power when really
Yeah,
the goal is to get the soul. And you have to be able to have someone willing to self-sacrifice, more so or less, because if not, if you impose sacrificial beliefs on someone, causing them to commit suicide, you don't get that power. You get the the torture, the turmoil, the everything that led up to that point. So it would have to be someone willing to open marriage, type of thing, getting someone to marry you and exchange souls with you, or and be willing to submit to you, and that would give you a different type of power from a different aspect. But when you're eating people's flesh, it's just like I said, a placebo effect of power.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say that as well. But it's again this subject that I just keep getting in my head to I mentioned to you in a message I think yesterday about manifestation. I'm just seeing this everywhere, and I'm getting examples of it everywhere ever since I mentioned it to you. And I think again, these people doing this, maybe they're believing that they're manifesting something from eating human flesh, or maybe they actually are, because they're making it happen in their own warped sort of way. It's not obviously what we would do, but he's talking about a time when things were a lot harder and food was scarcer, sometimes especially in the winter and stuff. Who knows what you do when you're in that position, but obviously not
It's
something
still
we do
the
today.
same now. We're just
Yeah,
distracted. I had somebody ask me for money when I went to the Audi's just a few hours ago. Like, it's still like that now. They're just not eating us because they say that it's wrong, but they're not eating us in the broad daylight. They're not eating us at night. The crazy part is the people that are having the hardest time up are the ones that are not eating people. It's the people that have recognized how much power they can have from oppressing people that are actually doing the eating. You've heard of adrenochrome? Adrenochrome is actively extracted from children, fetuses, and up to about age 8. That after 8, it kind of starts to dwindle down a bit, and they extract it from the pineal gland of people. They like for the person to be usually petrified. They like them in high adrenaline state, and happiness is not enough. Whereas when you're petrified, you're scared, you're terrified, it's a different type of adrenaline, so it gives them a different type of power. And they, like I said, they sell this stuff, and they inject it, and by any means of being able to incorporate it within their own existence. But that comes from too, like, with like how we have different types, they'll call them delicacies, and we're eating kids, and we're doing it actively, and but we find that we prefer our own, and we prefer our own people, because what a kid gives us is useful, but if we have enough youth to sustain our existence, then and we would like to sustain the knowledge. Now we want to be smart enough, and we want to be rich enough. You know what I mean? If there's a person that's richer than us, we'd rather eat that than someone that's poorer than us, because then we're incorporating that. And it's just, we're doing this, and it's like we don't care, and people don't know, or people do know, and they don't mind, like they don't, or they're scared, and they're scared. But if you're scared, you usually act out of desperation.